Rock music has a problem. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. This is your pipe date for Sunday, September 15th, 2024. But for some quick updates, I am releasing a 3-song EP titled Zombies, Demons, Girlfriends. It's hard rock. I would describe it as fierce and fun. Personally, I've been sick the last few days. I'm about done with it, but the whole family's been sick. So the synapses aren't exactly firing on all cylinders. And maybe that's why my content's been a bit grumpy. Aside from that, I've been working on a lot of new music. I wrote a new song. Thanks for your songwriting suggestions. It may be some time until my voice is in shape again, so I might wait to start recording. So anyways, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. This is a bit of a personal discussion for me. I put out a video about Dave Grohl and my disappointment with him cheating. He admitted to fathering a child outside of his marriage of 21 years. It's made me really upset. He's always been a big hero of mine, and someone I felt had really figured out the rock and roll lifestyle. For one, he survived, and seemed to me to be a well put together man, husband and father. And some have shared a couple of opposing opinions, which I think are valid and I may even agree with. The first is you need to separate the music from the artist. I agree with that. I'm not going to stop listening to the Foo Fighters, or do I think it should get canceled? After some time, I will enjoy the music just like I always have. The other opinion is that we shouldn't make rock stars our role models. And who are we to judge? I mean, this is what they do. What do you expect? And the reason this bothers me is because this is something that I had to navigate and deconflict in my own mind when I was a teenager, 13 years old, starting to play guitar, discovering rock music. And unbeknownst to me at the time, but as I started playing, I would get comments about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, sort of that whole lifestyle. And what is the expectation for you to do with your life as a rock musician? And it's become this foregone conclusion that you are to live this toxic lifestyle, likely ending in your ultimate demise. Like, what other profession could you imagine where your success means that you're going to be imbibing recreational drugs, you're going to be a philanderer, and this lifestyle is going to significantly reduce your lifespan? Is that a career you would choose? But as a teenager, you kind of you accept this is the way things are. So I soon joined bands and started pursuing this career and this lifestyle, which was every young musician's dream. But I ended up finding myself in a lot of precarious situations where it was almost a badge of honor and an expectation to pursue and live this sort of lifestyle. And at some point I woke up and thought to myself, well, this is silly. And, obviously due to the fact that it's so very difficult to be successful, I decided to move on and live a so-called normal career, normal life. And even today with this music project, a big reason I'm not performing is I don't want to hang out at bars all night. But no disrespect if you do. I decided to stop drinking years ago due to a Lyme disease diagnosis. It's also why I don't eat meat, is to just manage my symptoms. But I think that's part of the problem. If your job as a musician and a performer is essentially to facilitate these massive parties that go all night, that's not exactly a work environment that's conducive to spiderwebs, to good health. And this is why the whole sex, drugs, and rock and roll paradigm is a problem for me. And it was for me as a young man. And I think what we need to do as a society is to start separating the two. And the music industry needs to figure out how can they support their artists to have a healthy, balanced lifestyle, as should be the responsibility of any employer. Such that if there is a young, amazing talent that wants to give their gift to the world, they can do that in a safe environment and don't have to sacrifice their health and livelihood for these ridiculous norms that were established in the 20th century. I mean, I struggled with it and I figured it out eventually and moved on. After a short tour with my band in college, I realized that this was not going to happen. So what do you think? Rock and roll, sex and drugs, optional? Maybe even discouraged. We've lost too many great talents. Let's learn from our mistakes and move forward. Pipe out.